All right, it has been a while since we did a podcast of the Somebody Like You podcast, and what we're doing today is we're giving away the secrets. But first, I want you to know that this podcast is sponsored by Somebody Like You Mental Health Services. I know you might feel confused, but I'm sponsoring myself. One-on-one coaching, group coaching, I help organizations and people get with and feel and tap into that best version of themselves. So if you're ever looking for a little bit of clarity, a little bit of help, and after this podcast, I think you're going to understand what I can provide clarity on. So thank you to Somebody Like You in Mental Health Services for sponsoring this podcast, and let's get into it. What this podcast is about is your best self. And ironically enough, I have created this for my clients and I wanted to share it with you. So if you are listening to this, I'm going to talk through it. If you are watching on YouTube or any other platform, you are going to see the visuals. I have labeled this your best self blueprint worksheet. So essentially what you need to know, what we will be doing is identifying the 3 core emotions that we want to feel, and we are going to find our way to them. More importantly, they're going to find their way to us, and they're not as far away as you think. So let's dive into it. First things first, you're going to think of these emotions as if they're like your compass. They're the 3 things you are identifying. You're going to take a moment to sit with me here and think, what are 3 of the emotions I want to tap into within the next 3 months? A lot of answers are peace, are comfort, are content, are confident. But this comes from you, not from me or past clients. What we want to identify is what are the 3 emotions you are looking to tap into in the next 3 months. And if you have any questions like, does this work? I have 100% success rate with clients on doing this blueprint. And what does that mean? 100% success rate. What that means is every single one of the clients I have worked with has sat across the session from me as the best self they designed in one way or the other. Some people, it was a couple weeks. Some people, it was a couple months. I say give this 3 months and you will sit there as a version of that best self you have designed. All right, let's do this. So what we're going to want to do, step 1, is over the next 3 months, what emotions do you want to experience more consistently, on a more consistent basis? Once again, I've talked about we have to define what this is for us. So that can be, I want to feel success. I want to feel confident. I want to feel peace. Whatever that is to you. So I implore you right now to think about that. You can pause the video, pause the podcast, and think, what are the 3 most important emotions I'm looking to tap into in the next 3 months? Because that takes us right to point number 2. We're going to define what each emotion is in our own terms. And I'm going to explain why this is so important. Because your definition of peace may not be my definition of peace. What brings you peace might not be peace for me. That might be my worst nightmare, right? So what we want to do is define, what do these 3 emotions mean to you? This is the most critical part of the Best Self Blueprint. Defining what these emotions feel for you. So when you go back to this worksheet, what you're going to do is you're going to identify the 3 emotions, okay? And then you're going to go to emotion number 1, emotion number 2, and emotion number 3. And you're going to define these. And you're going to be not just what does Webster's dictionary say is the definition of peace, confidence, and motivation. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for you to reflect on what peace or whatever your emotion is means to you. So for me, peace, let's define that. Peace for me is not having to worry about money. I'm financially stable. I'm calm. I feel the love in my life. When I walk into the house after a long day, I feel comfortable. I feel heard. I feel seen. I feel safe. Those are just some top of the mind things that peace means for me. They could be different for you. So remember, part 2 of the Best Self Blueprint is defining each emotion in your own terms. It is important because what these things mean to me, they might not mean to you, especially if we're coaching together. If I'm on a call with you, I'm not holding you to the standards of what these emotions are for me. I love to know what these are crystal clear for you. Through this entire process, you're going to see why this works. Why there's 100% success rate is because of step number 2, the definition of what the emotion is you're looking to feel. Okay? So then when we go back to the emotions, you got that. We're going to review here. First, identifying 3 emotions. 2, I know I'm making it stupid simple right now, and that's the whole point of this, is to define your emotions. Okay? And what's step number 3? Step number 3 is we're going to find out what already brings these emotions to life or what will bring these emotions into our life. So I love to start from a place of things that make me feel this way currently. So once again, what are some things, I'm going to keep using peace. What are some things that bring you peace currently? And if you say, I do not have anything in my life that brings me this emotion, number 1, I very much encourage you to look further. This is part of it. You have these things. We just have to know where we are looking. So things that make us feel this way now. Why is this important? Because we want to create more of this. If we're able to create more of this now, and because we already realize it is in our life, what we're going to do is place our attention on it more frequently. What happens when we place our attention on these things more frequently? More of it comes to us. It's the way it works. You ever been super angry at something and all you can do is think about why it makes you angry? And you're wondering, why am I angry for weeks on end? Because I've been wondering about that fight with Brenda in the lunchroom for the past, 5 years. We need to let that go. So we're trying to find these things that bring us the peace, bring us the whatever, and recognize where we already have it in our life. So what we do after that is, okay, we already see the things that we do have, and it could be 1, 2, maybe that, right? After that, we're going to say the things I believe will help me feel this way. So this is probably the reason you're here. This is probably the reason you're listening to. It's like, okay, I want to know how to get access to the things that I think are going to help me feel this way. How do I access them? Through your best self blueprint. We need to, 1, be crystal clear about what we are trying to bring in. And now we don't just make this best self blueprint and then run away. This is our North Star. This is what we are going to be acting in service of all of the time. If you are on a coaching call with me, this is what I use every single call. When we are having a conversation, I am trying to find how this ties back to the best version of you, how this works in the service that you designed. This, before anything else, shows me who you are looking to tap into, who you are looking to become. So my job as your mental health coach is to use this as your North Star, not my North Star, your North Star, and help you continue to create in service of this. We do that same thing through emotion number 1, 2, and 3. So I like to just reiterate and bring this home almost frustratingly enough. Step number 1, identify 3 of the core emotions you are looking to tap into. I'm going to keep saying tap into. Step number 2, define each of these emotions and what they mean to you. Once again, you can see here, or if you're listening, I'll explain it out loud. Emotion number 1 and what your definition is right underneath of it. Do the same thing for 2 and 3. And I want this to be as detailed as possible. I want you to paint the picture to what this is for you. I want it to be so crystal clear what these emotions are to you that you cannot miss them when they pop up in your life, whether they're already there or whether they are going to be coming to you in the near future. Okay. Step number 3 was 1, what do I already have in my life that helps evoke these emotions, help feel these emotions? And 2, right underneath that, things I believe that will help me feel this way that I do not already currently have. Okay? We're going to do that for all 3 emotions. Step number 4. Here is where the coaching comes in with me. You are going to align your time with your emotions. And one thing on coaching calls I will always say is if you are aligning your time by setting up a coaching call, you are always in service. Now, yeah, that sounds good for me, right? But what you are doing in that moment is you are investing in yourself. You are investing time and intention and the discipline of showing up in service of that best self. So we need to align time, ideally every day, starting out small, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But the whole point of this is dedicating time to be in service of that best version of you, right? Okay, let's get back to it. So what does that look like? And this is going to be all the same for 3 emotions. Time that I have available each day or week. So whether it's scheduling it out in your phone, on your calendar, on a piece of paper, it doesn't matter. We're going to take the time you have each day. Remember, this just has to be 5 or 10 minutes to start. And then you will put right underneath that, what is the action I will schedule to do during this time to be in service to emotion number 1? Once again, using the example of peace, it's going to be, okay, on Mondays at 7:30 p.m., I will take the action to be mindful, meditate, or use my journal to practice gratitude for 10 minutes. That is it. At the end of the day, rub your hands together, say, I can hang my hat on that. I dedicated time and I did this. You will do the same for emotion number 2, time available each day of the week, actions you will schedule. Same for emotion number 3. And I encourage putting this in your phone on your calendar. So when we go back and we feel like we're not making any progress, when we feel like we're not doing the things, we will have data that shows us that we are doing the things. You know what really helps when we don't feel good about ourselves? Data that shows we've been taking care of ourselves for the past month. I'll give you a quick example. This morning, I'm recording this on the Monday after Thanksgiving. I felt like I ate too much. I feel bloated. I don't feel good. I didn't take care of myself. But I was like, I need to work out. I need to just start doing something in service of myself. I did it, and then I went and I checked out my workout app, Strava. Not sponsored, but would love to be. I looked at my last month. I showed up 19 days out of the month to work out. I was like, oh, well, just because I feel like I didn't doesn't mean I didn't, because I have the data that shows me. That is the same thing for this. We want you to have data that shows that you have showed up for that best version of yourself. Because when you show up for the best version of yourself, you have to become the best version of yourself, because you are doing the things that the best version of you, your best self blueprint, is doing. And the best part is you designed this. So move at your own speed. You're not trying to compare yourself to me, to somebody else, some YouTube guru. It's not like that. It is for you. Okay? This is all about you. All right. Here we go. Sorry, that was another screen that I used probably for some other thing. If you are listening, you have no idea what I'm talking about because you are hearing my milky voice. All right, and what we're going to do for step number 5 is we're going to check in. Did I feel X emotion today? What helped? Ask these questions. And remember, it's okay to say no. If you did not feel the emotion, it's almost equally as important to recognize, oh, I didn't feel this today. Why didn't I feel this today? Well, maybe it's because I didn't do that thing I set time to do on Monday at 6:30 or 7 o'clock. What could I change tomorrow to feel this emotion more consistently? If you've read the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, what you'll recognize is at the end of the day, he likes to put his day up for review. All that means is check in with yourself. Did I do the things I set out to do? If I designed the best version of myself, did I do the things in service of that? The most important part of this is if the answer is no, it is okay. Don't judge yourself. But tomorrow, we're going to do our best to be back in service to that. And the more days we can put in a row of being in service of that, the more you're going to be that best version of yourself, because you are doing the things. If you are doing the things, you are setting the intentions, you are showing up, and you are disciplined, you are matching the frequency of the best version of you. And you have to become the best version of you. It might not look exactly like how you thought it would, but you will wake up, or you will be on a call with me, or you'll be talking to your mom, your dad, your friends, your sister, whoever it might be. And they're going to be like, who is this person? Oh my gosh. They might not like it because they don't know this person, but you will become this person. And step number 6, another important one. At the end of 3 months, I would say at the end of each week, reflect on how far you've come. Celebrate your wins. I have an amazing client that came up with this idea. Well, we came up with it together. It's just Pavlov's dog, right? What we're going to do is we're going to take a jar. I don't have a jar around me, so we'll use this cup. And with everything you do in service of that best version of yourself, put it on a piece of paper, crumble it up, and put it in the jar. And I want you to be so generous with how much you put in there. I want this jar to be filled up as much as possible. And at the end of the week, you can read them and be like, oh my gosh, look at all the stuff I did. Once again, this comes down to data. When we don't feel like we are in service of our best self, we now have something tangible in front of us that shows us we're doing the things. So even because I don't feel like it, that doesn't mean I'm not it. I have all of the things that show me I am becoming that thing. And the feelings will start to follow. Actions have to be first, then the emotions will follow second. So, for further support, as you can see on this, you can check out my website, yada, 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 somebodylikeyou.org. If you are looking to download this form, you can find it on my links, right? You can go to somebodylikeyou.official on Instagram, and it will be right in my link tree, all the things, or I'll just put it on the podcast, or you will find it in the description on YouTube. With that being said, welcome back, guys. We are doing the dang thing. You are tapping in to your best self, and now you have it. You have the blueprint. Now, the individual one-on-one support and stuff like that always helps, but this stuff is free. Like I said, 100% of my clients have sat across the session from me being that best version of themselves and being like, holy cow, I designed this and now I became this. And the most important thing was, it wasn't me, it was you. We did it together. You took ownership. You filled out the best self blueprint, or you did the best self blueprint with me. You showed up. You were disciplined. You were intentional. That's how this happens. So if you want further help, if you're looking for a little bit of guidance, or you're looking for a certified mental health coach like myself, feel free to get in touch with me. You can go on my website. You can fill out the form, all yada, 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 right? So thank you to our sponsor, Somebody Like You Mental Health Services. And this has been another episode of the Somebody Like You podcast. I will catch y'all on the next one. Take care. Peace.